buckle up because this is massive for Celtic. That's 3 huge stories, and trust me, the last one changes everything. Martin O'Neill has gone straight in, tackling the big issues head-on. From the goalkeeper debate to that famous tracksuit, Birmingham have made their stance crystal clear on Kyogo, and then comes the big one, a move that could see O'Neill land a striker even better for the future. Stick with me right to the end. We bring you daily news to keep you right up to date with the mighty Celtic. Hit subscribe and join in. You can feel the weight of it the minute you walk into Lennoxtown again. This isn't nostalgia, this isn't sentiment, this is damage control mixed with belief. Martin O'Neill is back in the building, and straight away he's tackling the mess head on. No hiding, no soft soap. Third spell, same badge, very different mood. The Celtic season has been dragged into a dogfight, and there's no room left for romance. He knows exactly where this has gone wrong. Structure, confidence, simplicity, that's the order. After that shambles under Nancy, the first thing O'Neill is doing is stripping the game back to basics. He's not interested in 5 pages of instructions or players looking like they're solving a maths problem out there. He's talking about clarity, roles, and football that players actually understand. That's a direct message to what came before. Without naming names, you could see it when he spoke about systems. He's not rushing to rip everything up for the sake of it, but make no mistake, that back 3 experiment left scars. Too many goals conceded, too many players confused, too much panic every time the ball went into our box. O'Neill isn't buying excuses. He wants tiny adjustments, not chaos, and he wants players doing one job properly instead of 3 badly. Then there's Kasper Schmeichel. This is where it gets spicy. A lot of the fan has turned on him, and O'Neill knows it, but he's standing his ground. He sees experience, he sees big game moments, he sees a goalkeeper who can still win matches if his head is right. He talks about big saves, pressure moments, semi-finals, Europe. That's not accidental. That's O'Neill saying, I trust him, now prove me right. Whether that patience lasts is another story, but for now, Schmeichel is getting backed. Liam's scales, that one's simple. O'Neill liked what he saw before, and he's not pretending otherwise. If you were solid, reliable, and did your job under him once, you're not starting from 0 again. That's a quiet warning to anyone who thought their place was guaranteed just because of what happened in the last month. Even the tracksuit joke tells you something. He's relaxed enough to smile, but underneath it, there's steel. He knows time isn't on his side. 18 games left, 6 points to make up, Rangers breathing down our necks, and Hearts enjoying the view. There's no safety net now. Every match is a referendum. This isn't about the past. This is about whether Martin O'Neill can drag this group back to being recognizable as Celtic, starting immediately. No excuses, no more drift. So here's the question I want you to answer honestly. Do you trust Martin O'Neill backing experience like Schmeichel and Scales to steady this season? Or do you think Celtic need ruthless changes right now to save the title race? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's G it. Loudy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic dafts. This Kyogo situation is getting interesting, and not in the fairy tale way some of the Celtic fan might be hoping for. Birmingham City's manager, Chris Davies, has come out and made his stance very clear, and it's basically him planting his flag and saying Kyogo isn't going anywhere, at least not yet. Davies has watched his side finally stop the rot with that 3-2 win over Coventry City, ending a horrible run, and he's still backing Kyogo to fight his way through what's been a miserable first half of the season. No goals in the championship, confidence clearly low, and yet Davies is standing there insisting this is still Birmingham's striker and that he believes Kyogo will battle on. From a Celtic point of view, this matters. There's been a lot of noise about a possible loan return to Parkhead, especially with Martin O'Neill openly admitting the squad needs attacking reinforcements. Kyogo's name will always spark emotion here because of what he did in green and white. Over 80 goals, league titles, big moments, proper memories. But Davies is shutting the door publicly, saying there have been no discussions with Celtic at all, and that Kyogo is an important part of his plans. He's basically saying the striker is playing more now, getting minutes, and that this is the moment where character matters. Davies believes Kyogo will push through the criticism, the lack of goals, and prove his worth in England. Whether that belief survives January is another matter entirely, especially if Birmingham bring in more attackers like Davies himself has hinted they might. From where I'm standing, this feels like posturing. Managers do this all the time. You don't talk down your player when transfer speculation is swirling. You protect the asset, you talk him up. And let's be honest, Kyogo hasn't suddenly become a bad player. He's a striker starved of confidence, playing in a team that's struggled to create, in a league that's physically brutal. If Birmingham strengthen up front, Kyogo could find himself pushed even further down the pecking order. And that's when the conversation changes. That's when Celtic might come back into the picture, especially if O'Neill wants someone who already understands the club, the pressure, and what it means to win titles while Rangers chase shadows behind us. So here's the real question for you, and I want honesty in the comments. If Kyogo becomes available late in the window, do you bring him back to Celtic knowing what he gave us before? Or do you move on and look for a new number 9 built for the future rather than the past? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's G it loldy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs. This is where the conversation around Celtic's striker situation really gets serious, because Martin O'Neill looks ready to move past nostalgia and make a signing that's about winning now and winning later. There's a lot of noise about Kyogo sentiment, memories, goals from the past, but behind the scenes, Celtic are clearly looking at something different. Interest has been registered in Kieran Bowie from Hibs, and this one isn't a fantasy link or a name pulled out of thin air. This is a proper Scottish Premiership striker doing damage week in, week out in a league he already understands. Bowie is valued at around £6.5 million, and yes, Rangers are sniffing about as well, which tells you everything you need to know. When they're interested, it usually means there's a player there. The difference is Celtic should be the club acting with purpose, not hesitation. Bowie is 23, hungry, aggressive, and already proving he can finish chances in this league. 7 league goals from just over 5 expected goals tells its own story. That's efficiency, that's composure, that's someone who doesn't need 10 chances to score 1. Compare that to Kyogo's current situation, and it's brutal. No league goals, struggling for confidence, struggling for rhythm, and playing in a championship side that looks unsure of what it wants to be. This isn't about disrespecting what Kyogo gave Celtic before. He was brilliant, but football doesn't wait for feelings, it moves on, and right now Bowie looks like the better bet for Martin O'Neill's rebuild. There's also the Johnny Kenny problem. 4 goals from nearly 7 expected goals simply isn't good enough if you want to chase hearts and keep Rangers exactly where they belong, looking up at us. O'Neill needs a striker who attacks the box, bullies defenders, and finishes chances without overthinking it. Bowie fits that profile far more than a sentimental loan return ever could. This feels like a statement moment. Does Celtic go back to what once worked, hoping lightning strikes twice, or do they invest properly in a striker who could lead the line for years and still improve? O'Neill has always trusted players who know the league, know the pressure, and aren't afraid of a scrap. Bowie ticks every one of those boxes. So here's the question. I want you to answer honestly, and I know this will split opinion right down the middle. If you had the choice right now, do you spend serious money on Kieran Bowie as the future number 9, or do you bring Kyogo back on loan and hope the past saves the present? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's G it loldy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs.